Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 13th week of Couch to Clutch. Last week went fabulously. Sunil was very happy with that week because the 90-90 intervals in the last week went pretty damn well. I was on full throttle, it was maximal effort, and he saw the intervals and the run, the long run, and he was very happy about it. And he said, you know, let's do 120 seconds intervals from the next week. After 2 weeks, because the next week, let's keep the 90-90 intervals. And after that, let's make that 120. So I took it as a win, of course, because I have earned that 120 intervals. That feels like well executed, the 90-90 intervals. And this week, the 90-90 intervals were even better than the last week. And I was very happy to deliver that. As you can see from this one, this was last Tuesday. Uh, and as you can see from here, he'll be very happy again next week, I think, looking at better numbers with less effort, I would say. The perceived effort was less for this, even though the distance covered was higher and the paces were better. I think this had to do with the ashwagandha tablet really kicking in now. After I started that 2 weeks back. So taking that ashwagandha really is helping with all the sleep quality stuff. Sleep quality is much better. HRV is much better. And resting heart rate has gone down to 47 now, which was hovering around 50 when I was in the training weeks. It used to come down to 46, 47 when there was a lot of recovery taken, like an entire week. But after that, when there is stress in the system because you are a little bit fatigued from the entire week, it used to go up to 50, 51. But now it is consistently at 47. So I feel much more relaxed as well, and the runs are much better. So yeah, fitness is something that you can pursue, but then it has to get imbibed in your system. It has to get a little stabilized in your system before the actual you know integ there's a period of integration, I would say, and it takes time. So you have to be a little patient with it. So this first interval, 130, 1 minute 30 seconds, 453. And the next one is 446, then 429. I think I ran a little too fast, and then I thought, okay, let's get back to the rhythm. 454, 451, 450, 456, 450, 455, and the last one is 444. By the last interval, I think the HR had started to creep up a little bit, which used to creep up in the seventh or eighth interval before. But this time, I think the seventh, eighth, ninth interval were very stable. 151, 155, all really, really recovering really well on all those intervals. So I could do probably another two, but that's where the sweet spot is. You should always be feeling like you can do another two when you end your interval training. So yeah, this one went even better than the last week, and I was very happy about it. Um, Even the aerobic HM pace run last week, this went really well. Um, 7:35 pace, completed 12.5 kilometers in 1:34. A little bit of a hilly place that we went, but still I was able to manage it. Recovery HR was 117 BPM after 2 minutes of rest. Resting HR, as I said, it was 51 because there's a little bit of stress in the system, but after that, the resting HR every day has been 47, 47, 47, like that. So It's going pretty good, I would say. I did not push too much in the cruise intervals. So this one was zone two mostly. Then the 90-90, then aerobic gearing also I did not push too much. And today I did push a lot on this crisscross and neuromuscular power sprints. So this one I did, yeah, I did at 88 intensity factor. Normalized power was 181 watts. Average heart rate was 136, and this went pretty well, I would say. And there was a 30-second interval. I think let's show that as well here. So this is the latest one. Yeah. So I hit third best 30 seconds, 573 watts, because that was one of the intervals. So as you can see from here, 30-second intervals, yeah, 30-second, 569 watts. Before that, it was 340 watt, 348, 403, 419, 366, like that. So yeah, and then these were all like 10 seconds and then 2 minute on sweet spot repeats. So I think it went pretty well. I can do much better in this if I go full throttle, but I did not go full throttle, of course, because I have to train every day. You can't go full throttle every day. But I did come up with an interesting thought today. Uh, and it was, well, it was um, one of those things when you just are in flow and then something clicks. So I saw a speed limit, 40 kilometers per hour. And in that speed limit, I thought, who is it for? Anyway, people like to break speed limits, isn't it? But they break it illegally. So that 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers an hour speed limits on a car or on a bike, if you break those limits, then you might get fined for it if you are caught. So that's illegal and unsafe, of course, to break those speed limits. In India, there's some places where the speed limits are so low that it doesn't really make sense to go that slow. But yeah, in general, if you break any speed limit, then you get fined for it. Then a thought came into my mind that on a cycle, you can always break those speed limits, isn't it? But would anyone dare to break those speed limits on a cycle? Because a cycle is supposed to be slow. So I said, let's go and break it. It's just 40 kilometers an hour, right? Let's break it and feel good about it. You can't really do it on in your car, so why not a cycle? So that's when I got a little bit of a epiphany that, sometimes the edge that you can have might be your capability, might be unfair advantages that you have. So if I have a longer, say, thigh, uh, which is genetically there, I didn't do anything about it. If I have a longer thigh, I have a better chance of being a cyclist. So that's an unfair advantage. But in that, capability, of course, you build capability by doing a lot of hard work in the right direction. And you have certain unfair advantages and strengths that you need to be aware of. But sometimes the edge can be a smart edge as well, like this one. Because a false edge might be illegal. There's a lot of rules that if you break, you're going to face problems. So if you break that rule of speed limit on a car, you might face, fines, fees, whatever. There are some edges where lawyers usually exploit exploit loopholes, context dependent, not for the not really ethical, I would say. But there are some smart edges always, um, that are legal, ethical, and creative. And if you explore those edges, those smart edges, it becomes part of your edge, of your capability, of your unfair advantage, and an edge you can get over others. So winners, the highest category of winners, I would say, the ones who are dominant, the ones who want to dominate in whatever they're doing. Uh, they don't break the rules randomly. Let, let's just go and break the speed limit with my car. They understand the systems deeply enough to operate differently within them. They understand the first principles. What was the first principle in that speed limit that they had? They had an assumption that the speed limit will be always followed by everyone. But there is a cyclist who is gonna legally break it, and you can't do anything about it because you can track his number. It's a cycle. There's nothing much you can do about it, isn't it? And a cycle is not usually going that fast. So as you can see, it's a yeah, not in the gray area at all. It's not a false edge either, but it's a smart edge. And I think that's an insight that I had today you know, um, from that little incident that I just observed a speed limit and decided to break it. Okay, protocol time. Ashwagandha tablet really going well. As I said, the night supplements are of course going well because I've been using for them for a couple of years now. Not couple of years, I would say 1.5 years. The recovery drink, well, yeah, it's a good one. It's not as effective as these two, but it does its job, I would say. Okay, but the ashwagandha tablet, such a lifesaver. Um, Electrophase cramp assault. Now this is the first time I think I have mentioned a brand over there because I've been using this brand for last 1.5 years, and um, touch wood, I never had a cramp in my life. Okay, no matter how hard I went, there was never a cramp uh, till date. Probably I was always training a little safer, a little conservative, not overextending myself. But yeah, I can't take all the credit. I think the credit goes to the this electrolyte as well. It's a really good mix of coconut water and the right amount of electrolytes that you cannot find on ORS. I used to use ORS, by the way, but ORS I found out was not 100% for the needs of a cyclist or a runner. It's more like if someone goes sick, then it's a cure for them, but not a formula for reducing cramps or anything. It does help, but it's not 100% optimized for us. Okay. So electrolyte supplement during training to maintain hydration. So this is hydration is one of the most important things for aerobic athletes. Prevents cramps and sustains performance in high sweat conditions. The farther you go, the faster you go, hydration and nutrition become more and more important. Recovery, hydration, nutrition, your form, the core, um, basically how long you can hold that form. These things become more important than your muscles or anything like that. Okay. Your cardiovascular system, of course, is very important, but your form becomes important. These things become important. The harder and faster and longer you go, the more these things will make you pay if you don't pay attention to those. Hydration 4 times a week. Basically, on very hard rides, you definitely need those crampasol to, mixed with your water. And immediately post ride if you're sweating very heavily. So basically, if you are in hot conditions, humid conditions, you will need more of it. Cold conditions, you need a little less. In winters, I do require a little less. In summers, I can feel that I need more of this. Primary targeted variable is hydration balance. Stability affects your fatigue and power output. Majorly, your fatigue, power output because of that. And secondary variable is fatigue reduction, your neuromuscular efficiency, cramp prevention, thermal regulation, all of that. Thermal regulation, my God, I do so badly in hot conditions just because of thermal regulation, even though I do the same things as I do in a cold condition. So humid conditions, hot conditions, they make so much more difference. And this electrolyte really keeps you, it mitigates a lot of that. I won't say it just nullifies everything, but it does mitigate a lot. Measurable markers, you'll have reduced cramping incidents. If you ever had, I never had, so I don't know what a cramp is. Stable power output in the final 30 to 40% of the ride. That's where it matters in a race, because the final 10% of the race is what matters usually. The middle part is also important, but then you can chill a little bit in the middle part. The first part where everyone is surging and trying to catch the lead peloton, and the final where you have to sprint, those become very important. So stable power is required in the last 30 to 40% of the ride. So this becomes very, very important. Lower HR drift at some watts. So your HR might, your heart rate, basically your heart might want to work harder if it's not getting enough electrolytes and hydration. So this will help in lowering HR drift at the same watts. Reduce perceived exertion in heat. That is obvious. Cost is moderate, 40 per serving. I think I can add the basically the cost keeps going up, so that's why I don't want to include cost, because this is the cost in 2026. Who knows where it will be in 2036? So, but for now, this is the cost, 40 per serving. Okay. Next week, I'll have 120 intervals. Yay. And probably a faster 12.5 kilometers as well. And this week it's going to be a lot of training volume, I would say, as you can see from here. 743 TSS is what I'm targeting. So, yep, big week this. So, let's see how it goes. I think I'll probably be around 800 plus by the end of this week. So, looking forward to it. It's a good challenge. And whenever there's a big challenge, it's so much satisfying to look straight at the challenge, the straight at it. Let's go. Bye bye. See you next week. I'm Rajit, and this is the Dairy of a Cyclist.